You about to record this as a podcast?
Duh.
Okay. Damn, I'm like too built for that.
Yo. Hit the thistle dance like I'm Mac Drake. Can't stop looking at it, know them racks safe. Elevating, only half baked. I'm the Tiger Woods of the crap game. It'll all wash away with the champagne. Cause I bit down on it, left a bad taste. Where is Reverend Al Sharpton in the last days? Another bitch baptized, victim of the wave. Possessed, trying to get a nigga solar praise. Food for the thought, he was so the same. I'm just trying to rise on the Apple place. This hot Jay-Z handle, yay. Dolo Valley might have sounded like a Yeezy quote. She a needy hoe, hit her with a peasy quote. Ended on a high note, something CC wrote. Crowns for the kings that BB sold. Being misled, I was told things. BB King dead on May 14th. Solitary, never been quarantined. We still going up May 14th.
Stop causing problems. You'll get us all killed. Give them what you got and get them out of here.
Shut the fuck up, fat man. This ain't none of your goddamn business.
Be cool, honey bunny. Be cool. No problem. I got it under control.
Or sometimes when we like have a guest or whatever, like we want to get on here and speak some thought provoking stuff. Even when I have my old man on here, cause my pop's been on here twice,
maybe 3 times. I feel like maybe three times. Yeah. But
that was my guy, man. That's my guy.
Yeah, yes sir. But hey man, we recording right now, man. Hey man, good morning, good afternoon, good night, or whenever the fuck y'all niggas like to listen to this. I'm Meech.
And I'm Spiff.
And it's the motherfucking Drug Table Talk podcast with Meech and Spiff. Remember, we don't sell drugs, man. We sell knowledge and slang game. You feel me, man?
You know it.
Yes, sir, man. But, hey, man, Spiff Lord.
Yeah.
Man, this a different one this week, man.
What's different?
Come on, man. You know how we do. We always gotta have the ratchetness with the righteousness, man. We gotta
mix it all together.
Yeah, we gotta
man.
mix it in. You know how we do when we together.
Yeah, you feel me? A good balance.
We grown ups.
Yeah.
And when we have solo,
we childish.
Yeah, we childish.
I still want to do the goofy shit he doing right now.
Absolutely.
I can't.
Absolutely. But we got a special guest, man. Shout out to my dog, man. Been knowing him since middle school. Introduce yourself, man.
What's going on, everybody? This is your boy Josh.
Yes, sir.
Coach Josh.
Coach Josh.
I'm a financial coach. My business is called the Robe to A Status Financial Consulting.
Yes, sir.
And I just help people, whatever age they are, with their whether it's building credit or creating a spending plan or a budget or something like that, or is it if we want to chop it up about investments, we talk about that type of stuff. So. Just a wide variety of things, man. I've been in finance for about 8 years, so I kind of know. I call myself like the inside scoop, like the spy.
I like it.
I didn't work.
I like it.
I didn't work in credit unions. I didn't work in banks. I worked for investment firms, so I know the game and I know all the tricks of the trade. And the people that tell you yes or the people that tell you no, I worked with them, and I was one of them. Okay. So I can tell you, how to get down, what to do, stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, I'm glad you brought that up, man, because, one thing that I kind of like pride myself on is trying to be financially stable.
Yep.
Yeah.
You feel me? One of my things my grandma always say is you better have some money for the stick-up kid. Or my pops will say, you better have some money just in case you get your ass in trouble. Right. So you always got to make sure you got a couple dollars to your name, man, because you never know what type of issues that might come about.
Right.
Hopefully, nowhere along the lines in the future or anything like that. But I wanna ask you, man, like, because I can honestly say that when I was going through middle school, whether it was high school, even honestly when we went to college, man, it was no talk about any type of like financial planning, no type of like financial education or anything. It was just like, just go to school, man. Y'all figure it out.
Yeah, pretty much.
I still got student loans to this day. I'm damn near close to paying them bitches off, but ain't nobody tell me like, oh, just know when you get up out of college, man, you gonna have to pay these fools this money back.
Man, it's crazy. You know, it ain't a part of the curriculum, man. They want to teach you about calculus. They want to teach you about algebra, and they want to teach you about U.S. history, but they don't have. You know, even, man, back when our moms and our dads was in school, my mom put me up on game. She said they used to have classes like trade classes. Like, you can learn how to be, you can be an esthetician, a cosmetologist. You can learn how to do wood shop. They don't even have that no more.
Nope.
And I used to work in the Detroit Public Schools a little while back before I got into finance, man. And even like maybe 10 years ago, they were outsourcing their gym classes. You know, we had gyms. We had Mr. Petway or whatever.
Hell yeah.
And then, but now they got companies coming in to do gym for the class because they can't afford the gym teacher.
Wow.
They don't have art classes no more. They don't have nothing. So they're definitely not about to have financial classes. But first thing they do when we turn 18, they offering us credit cards.
Facts.
You know, so then you're not even prepared. You don't even have the knowledge. So, and all of our parents, what they say, they jacked up their credit, and then they trying to bounce back. And then they 40 and 50 years old trying to bounce back. And it's like, if I knew then what I know now,
you'd be well off.
Yeah, so why not? What I'm trying to do, man, is I'm trying to teach our generation or younger, or anybody that's willing to listen, the game of finance and how to have their stuff in order before they get into trying to recover.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but let me ask you, man, because what really got you into it? Because honestly, like, since it wasn't like so, pushed in front of us, it's like it had to been somebody or somewhere that you had to learn and be like, you know what, I need to spread this knowledge.
Yeah, man, that's real. Poverty is a mother. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
I was talking to my mom the other day, man, and during my childhood / early parts of adulthood, we moved 12 times. We done been evicted. And I ain't afraid to tell my story because it's better now, way better now. But we done been evicted, man. I done had, every single rodent you can think of in the house before. Just off of not nasty living, but poor conditions where you lived at in the hood. So it's one or two things that happen to you. Either you stay in that, and you just succumb to that, or you push out of it and you trying to figure out how to get out of it. And so, man, I had mentors over time, man. I started really getting involved in money probably 9 or 10 years ago as far as finances, and just really seeing the fact that, man, I was proud to have like a 700 credit score. The first time I had a 700 credit score, I was 24 years old.
That's what's up.
I was 24 years old, and I got that letter in the mail. I had applied for something, and, usually they send you like, why they gave you the approval, whatever. This is the credit score you have, and they said 705, and I was like, man,
oh, I'm litty.
This is good, you know what I'm saying? So ever since I was 24, man, and I've been in it, so now I be wanting to share the knowledge because I want all the young people, anybody that's in my generation or younger, to understand and know that you can have that 700 credit score right now. You ain't got to wait till you 60 and 70.
Right.
You can build wealth. You can get that house for the low interest rate, man. And then I got into finances. And I got even more of a drive because I saw people my parents' age. One time, man, I had a lady, her husband died. She came I was working for a credit union. Her husband died, man, and he owed $2,000 on the car. It was the only car in the family, and he was the one that took care of all the finances. She didn't even know how to pay her bills, really. It was an old school couple.
Yeah. Man,
we couldn't even help this lady out. She had to voluntarily give the car back because she didn't have no credit to apply for something. She didn't have $2,000 and she didn't have any credit to apply for anything. So we had to voluntarily repossess the car. So that type of stuff made me angry, man. It made me upset. And so that's what drives me, is being able to educate our people and get us to the next level.
Man, I feel that. And just kind of picking up what you said is that because I myself, I worked for a bank. I worked for, can I say that? Can I take? Fuck.
Yeah,
we only got like 13 listeners. Only got like 13 listeners. But yeah, man, I used to work at Comerica Bank.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I used to work at Comerica Bank way the fuck out. Mm-hmm. And I used to sit up in there and I used to, sit on the phone. I used to talk to people and it used to be terrible.
Man.
Because it's like, on one end, they made it to whereas I have to, get people to apply for loans and credit cards and different types of.
Yeah.
You got to sell.
Yep.
And it's like, these people don't have the funds to do so. However, it's part of my job that I have to do.
Yep.
Yeah.
And one thing that I don't think is, and maybe you can speak more about it, is that even if they try to inquire about getting a loan, it still takes hit on their credit score when doing so.
Mm-hmm. So let me dispel this myth. Number one, everybody talking about, if you get your credit pulled a bunch of times, your score gonna go down. The myth is, if you applying for a car or you applying for a house, they know you gonna shop around.
Right.
They know you're gonna try to get the best interest rate as best as possible. So your credit score does not decrease as much when you're trying to get a house or a car. Mm-hmm. Because most of the time when you go to the dealership, you're gonna give them your information, your pay stubs or whatever, and they're gonna send your information to 30 different lenders, and they all gonna pull your credit at once, and then they're gonna come back to you and be like, Meech, the Wells Fargo was the best one, or you got these 3 options. These was the best options you got. So your credit score don't go down when you do that. Your credit score goes down when January, you applying for something. March, you applying for something. Every other month, you applying for something. Then that's when the credit bureaus say, okay,
what you doing?
Hey, you struggling. Something
doing
going on.
too much.
Something going on. So we about to decrease your credit score because it look like you struggling. You searching for too much stuff. You trying to apply for all these credit cards because you ain't got enough money to use for yourself. And so that's the conversation the credit bureaus have with themselves, man. So I would definitely advise people, it's okay to go buy a car. It's okay to go buy a house because they know you're going to shop around for the best rate. They understand that. But when it comes to just shopping around for all little stuff, seeing what you can get,
no,
don't even do it.
That's a red flag right there.
Yeah.
Red flag.
Let me ask you this, because I know a lot of people try to, well, I ain't gonna say try to. People, put a high value as far as credit, and everything like that. But what is credit if you don't have any money though? At the same time too.
That's true. Yeah. That's
because
true.
I see a lot of people like, I got a 800 credit score, but at the same time, like, you don't even have money to pay bills.
Right. So I tell people, this is what I tell people, and it blows people's mind when I say it. The ultimate goal is to not have a credit score.
Why is that?
That's the ultimate goal. And the reason why it's the ultimate goal is because in this life, we all want to get to the point where we paying cash for everything. Right. I believe in the Bible, and one of the things the Bible says is that the borrower is slave to the lender.
That's a
and
fact.
I don't ever want to be a slave to anybody. But in the meantime, between time, when you ain't got the 6-7 figure, income or whatever, what you do is you use people's money, you leverage people's money to create wealth for yourself.
Yeah.
So one of the things I'm starting to try to get into this year is real estate. And so what do? You go to a bank, and what happens is everybody go to a bank. Let's say everybody go to one particular bank or credit union, and you put your money into that. That bank or credit union, how they make money is they let you borrow everybody else's money. And then they make interest off of that over a certain period of time. And that's how the banks end up making their income, is the interest.
Facts.
But the reason why you want a high credit score is because you want the bank to make as least amount of money off of you.
Yeah.
When it's time for you to borrow some money. So instead of charging you 10, 12, 13, 14%, they charge you 3, 4, 5, percent because you had a better credit score. Now the credit system is jacked up. It really don't even make sense. Somebody that is struggling, you get them a lower credit score and they can't get nothing to help themselves get out. That's one of the reasons why I named my business the Road to A Status. Okay. Because when I worked for a particular credit union who will remain nameless.
Hey, we only got like 13 listeners.
You can say that shit. You can say that shit.
When I worked for this credit union, bro, let me tell you, this particular, several, let me just say this. Really, all credit unions do this, and banks. I'm going to say that. But the one I worked for particularly did it. They would label you by letter grade.
Damn.
So if you had a 680 credit score or higher, you were an A member. If you was 640 to 679, you was a B member. If you was 600 to 639, you was a C member. And then D and
Everything.
E, A, F, whatever, right? And so what really frustrated me, one time I was working for a smaller credit union, and I went to the CEO. And the reason it was so small, I can go to the CEO's office and just have a conversation, kick it with him. I said, man, we got all these people who got like 600 credit scores, 500 credit scores, and we giving them this money, we approving them. They pay us well, but they don't pay other people well. How can we have classes or do something to help these people?
Right.
And truth be told, they really wasn't trying to hear that. He was
it's
like,
a business.
they just want to make their money, you know what I'm saying? But it frustrated me that these people would be members or customers of this bank or this credit union for 4, 5, 6 years, and they still at the same level.
Right.
Your credit score, you paying us well, but it ain't changed. So you still getting charged crazy interest. And so I'm trying to get my C members, my D, my E, even my B members to A status.
Yeah.
That's why I named the business The Road to A status, because I want you to be approved, I want you to be affluent, and I want you to be accountable. That's what the A stands for. I'm trying to get everybody up to that credit score.
Yeah, man.
That's what's up. I don't think we, just going back to your point, Meech, we never learned how to manipulate money, pretty much.
Nah.
I hear people, some people that's older from our parents' generation only buying stuff with cash.
Yep.
Never buying nothing new. You feel me? As far as cars, cribs, whatever the case may be. But nobody really showed us the way to do so.
Nah.
That's true.
So I feel like it's valuable what you're doing. You feel me? It's very valuable. So my question to you is, take somebody that's what you say, or F?
E or F class.
Grade,
Okay, so what would be their first step to get to a D or a C?
Okay. First step you do, first of all, you got a job, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Right? Hopefully you got a job.
Hopefully you got a job. I don't care if you're working for Popeyes. I don't care if you're working for whoever. Stack you up a couple dollars, probably $300, right?
Okay.
And get you something called a secured credit card.
Okay.
Secured credit card. What do that mean, Josh? So you got two different types of debt. You got unsecured and secured, and it's exactly what it means. One piece of debt, when it's unsecured, you just going in there and signing your name, and they give you the money, and then that's it. It's off of your good name. But secured means that they got some type of piece of collateral. Either it's a motorcycle, a car, some money, where they could, if something happened, you don't pay, they can take something back.
It, yeah.
And they won't take a L. So you take a lot of companies like either Capital One or any of your local credit unions or banks, they do something called secured credit card.
Hey, Capital One, leave me the hell alone. Stop keep boosting my credit, man.
Stop doing it.
My credit limit is too damn high, and they know I like to shop.
They keep putting it up. They do. They keep $500 every couple of weeks, man. It's crazy. But Capital One, cool. Shout out to Capital One. Y'all need to sponsor the Meech and Spiff show.
Yes, sir.
Definitely.
So what you do is you do the secured credit card. You put your money up. They hold that money for you. And then they give you a card with that limit on it. So let's say you get them $500, they give you a card with $500 on it. Let's say you just pay your cell phone bill. Let's say your cell phone bill $100 by yourself, hopefully, and that's something that you already pay cash for.
Right.
So you hold on to the cash that you're gonna pay. You pay your cell phone bill with your card. You hold on to that cash for 28 days. You pay it off. If you pay it off, they can't make any money off of you. But how they get you is when they say, "Oh, all you gotta do is pay $25."
Or pay the minimum balance.
The minimum balance.
But they ain't telling you they charge you $75. They charge you interest on the remaining $75. And so that's how they end up again making their money. And then you do the other thing, the same thing with a loan. You can do a secured loan. So basically, you get a person $500, $1,000. They hold on to it for you. You pay them $45, $50 a month for 12 months. And that builds your credit up. So it's called installment payments. You just boom, boom, boom. After you get done, they release your money, they give it back to you. So these are just some little credit hacks real quick to get some type of payment history.
Yeah.
Quick little finesses, you feel me?
Exactly, man. So it's certain ways you can do stuff out there. And then, my biggest advice is to pay everything off and don't have balances, bro.
Yeah.
That's the fastest way you can bring your credit down, and it's the fastest way you can boost your credit is if you have zero balances or very low balances on your credit card. Because what the credit bureau say is, let's say you got $1,000 credit card and you used the $900, they say, oh, Meech and Spiff, y'all must be struggling.
You're right.
Because you using all this credit, you ain't paying cash for nothing, and you paying the minimum balance. So you must be struggling in your life. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lower your credit score because something is going on.
Yeah.
You know, you ain't
That's
using
a fact.
cash. But if you only using $100, $200, $300 and you paying it off every month, then they're gonna say, oh, Meech and Spiff, you know, y'all good. Y'all ain't gotta use our money so much. So I'm gonna hire your credit score, and then we go from there. So you want to watch what you do with that whole credit thing. But if you an E-member, to answer your question, you know, just do the secure stuff. Secure credit card, secure loan.
Man. And I do not advise my nigga Spiff, man, to go out to them strip clubs and buy up all them champagne bottles.
Don't do it, man.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
So I got a follow-up question.
Yeah.
So we talked about the E-member and bringing them up. So what about the motherfucker who got money but don't have no type of credit or nothing established? Like, is he better off just being a motherfucker with money?
But you know what? I like being somebody with money, man. But I'll tell you this though.
No, I'm not saying like money, but like you just don't got no credit. Like,
you just
got
pay
zero credit score. You just
pay cash for everything.
My thing is, it's always better to use somebody else's money to create your own wealth. So what I mean when I say that is, let's say you had a job and you making $60,000 a year. You know, you don't have no credit. You living comfortably. You in your little apartment or whatever. However, you know, you paying your bills and that's it. It's important to build credit because you got to go out there and get a house.
Facts.
We all can't afford a $250,000 house just paying cash or $200,000.
I'm pretty sure my dog Spiff ain't got $100K just on tuck.
We don't know, man. It could be in the couch
he
somewhere.
might be loaded.
We don't know. It could be somewhere buried. But my thing is, if you got money, you should definitely do some of the same things I just said. But when you have money and you have no credit score, people are more inclined to offer you credit because they say you have a better ability to pay it back. So if you make it 60, 70, 80,000, maybe even, you know, six figures, people are willing to, or institutions are willing to give you credit when you make more money.
Facts.
They just say, okay, he ain't been in the credit game. He got a zero credit score, or he got some little things on his credit report. Okay, we're willing to work with him because he makes a certain amount of money. And so if you're a well off person, then I would definitely just do some of the same things I just told you about the E or the D member. But you can get probably stuff. You probably won't have to do the secure thing because they're gonna be like, oh, we'll just give you a $5,000 credit card because you make $100,000. And so they want to be that person that you do business with. So when you got money, do talk. Money talk, man. So
I think you made a good point because as far as like with buying a home, like a lot, just like you said, people ain't got just a quarter, you know, 250,000 just to go like, you know, let me go put this on the house. I mean, if you got the money and then you can use somebody else's money to finance it, and you just make your payments, why would you not? You feel me?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Now, going back, you know, when I was working at the bank, man, and one of the things that I was, you know, I had to market was like savings accounts, money market accounts, and things of such like that. And you brought up another point as far as like with credit unions, because I have a credit union account myself as well too, you know, my personal Chase and everything else that I have.
Right.
But I've noticed that I'm able to get a better interest on my money through a credit union. Yeah. However, it's not as much as I feel like I should be making. How do you feel about as far as like whether it's savings accounts or having your money stored at a credit union? Like, how would you store your money?
So number one is, let me say this about myself. I don't have any banks. I don't mess with any banks.
My boy got it in the mattress.
No. I mess with the credit unions. I don't mess with any banks. Let me tell you why. Because banks are ran by, you know, boards and
Facts.
corporations and stuff like that. Credit unions are pretty much, they have a board, but they're more of ran by the people. That's why they that's why they call them members. They call you a member at a credit union. They call you a client or a customer at a bank because you own a share in the credit union. So the members are the people that really own the credit union. And I'm talking about, let me say, when I'm saying this, I'm talking from professional and personal experience. So I've worked for 2 credit unions, and I've been at credit unions over a decade as far as banking is involved. One of the biggest knocks on credit unions is, well, it's Chase's everywhere. It's Bank of America's everywhere.
Right.
But what some people don't know is that if it's the NCUA, National Credit Union Association, and those are the people, you got the FDIC.
Yep.
The NCUA is the FDIC for credit unions. They're the ones that do all the insurance and stuff for the credit unions. So basically, to make a long story short, I can go and use one, let's just say Michigan First Credit Union. I could use their ATM or debit card at another credit union's ATM machine for free.
Oh.
You can't go to Bank of America. You
With
can't
your
take
Chase,
with
yeah.
your Chase. They're gonna charge you. Chase gonna charge you $3, and Bank of America gonna charge you $3.
Facts.
But
That's
you
a
can
fact.
go to different credit unions as long as they got this co-op symbol, this little triangular symbol on their ATM. Most credit unions are a part of this. You can go to different credit union ATMs and have free ATMs, so you can pull money out without having to be charged. That's one of the reasons why I like credit unions. There's like 25,000 ATMs across the country. So I mess with credit unions a lot.
Got you.
So, but to answer your question, as far as the savings accounts, ain't nobody, I don't care if it's a bank or a credit union, they're not giving out good interest.
Nah.
At all. And that's why I would suggest, as a financial coach, to have your money working for you. Getting off into real estate, getting off into investing, having an individual retirement account, mutual funds, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Don't be having your money sit in the bank unless you have a goal. If you have a traveling goal, you want to go somewhere, you trying to put a down payment on a house or something like that, that's when I mess with saving money at the credit union or the bank or whatever.
Yeah.
But when it comes to just investing and trying to see your money grow, they giving very little interest out. So I don't even mess with, certificates of deposits. I don't mess with money market.
Oh, y'all mess with the CDs?
No, not like that. Because you ain't really getting into no money unless
you putting in a lot of money at one time.
Man, they call it in the banking industry, they call it hot money. If it's them people, the people that go around and they be like, I got $300,000 over at such and such. Can you beat this interest rate? And they just move their money from
one
place
account to the
place. Man, that's how it is.
Yeah. Damn. That's
Yeah, that sound pretty. I remember, I can't say her name. I should though, but for the sake of the law and shit, it was. Remember Patrice?
Yes, for sure.
Remember I don't know what happened to her, but she came into probably like a half a.
Well, about a half a slave.
Yeah, half a.
About 50,000.
No.
How much you talking? Damn.
Yeah, no, I'm not. Maybe like a quarter. I'm gonna say a quarter.
Okay.
And all she did was she blew it, but she put I want to say maybe a third of that into a CD, and that was the smartest thing she could have did.
Well, in that case, yeah, because she blew everything else.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, I'm gonna tell you why they want you to hold your money in CDs. Mm-hmm. When I talked about earlier how they use people's money, they basically use your money to make money. So let's say I put $100,000 in the bank, and then Spiff come to the bank and he want to buy a $100,000 car. They use my money that I put in the bank. They give it to you so you can buy your car.
And then
they charge
interest.
you 10, 12, 30% interest, sometimes high. They make the interest and then they pay me my money back. So all they doing is using my money to make money.
Yeah.
So they can keep that money.
Exactly. So that's why crazy. And it's insured by the federal government. Damn. So this is the game of the banks and the credit unions. And this the inside scoop, y'all. For all Meech and Spiff podcast listeners, this the inside scoop. I told y'all.
The fuck up.
I told y'all I was the spy. I was the one that's been in the trenches, man. I know this stuff. So, credit unions and banks people don't know this, borrow money from each other.
What? I thought
unions
this
and
was like
banks.
Bloods and Crips. I thought they was just I thought they was like, hey, we ain't even fucking with each other.
No,
we ain't doing that.
Let me tell you something, man. They borrow money from each other. So, inside scoop. Let's say my CEO at this credit union is cool with your CEO at the other credit union.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, one credit union is struggling. They got a lot of money that they trying to lend out, but they not lending out all their money because it ain't enough people. They ain't got enough members, or they ain't got enough people that qualify.
Right.
But they just got this money sitting here and they want to make money. But I got another credit union across the way that they looking for money because they didn't spend all their money. They didn't sent it out and they making money. They didn't gave all these loans out and they looking to have more money to loan out.
Mm-hmm.
That CEO will come to this CEO and say, hey, I need $500,000. Give us $500,000. We'll pay you interest. So we'll pay we'll pay you 5% interest. But when we lend your money out, we about to make 15-20%.
Oh, damn.
So that's why they borrow money from each other, because one credit union might be struggling and another credit union may not be.
Okay.
So that's how the game is. They make money. So this CEO over here, he like, shoot, I ain't making no money. I ain't putting loans out like that. I might as well take this little 5% they about to give me and let them make their own money.
Like I'm gonna make some.
Yeah. So what people don't even know, I know you like thought it was Bloods and Crips. Sometimes it's not, because business is business.
Yeah.
I need to make money, and then CEOs, they be having them board of directors. They have them people down their throats.
We gotta meet quota.
They
we gotta make money,
and that's why they be pushing the employees for y'all to sell.
Yeah.
And make them loans, man. So you gotta be careful as a consumer not to get caught up in that game.
Got you.
Yep.
Going back as an employee, I know some businesses they have it to whereas they would what's the thing, the 401k.
Yeah.
Your employer might contribute an amount and
percentage.
Match. They might match whatever you might put in.
Yeah.
As an employee, I know, and this is by personal experience, and my dad would tell me, when it's time for you to retire, you just cannot just rely on what you put in your 401k. You gotta do something else on top of that.
Meech,
if you can speak to our listeners and let them know, like,
preaching, man.
Yeah,
you preaching. So listen, bottom line is, okay, so you can be working at any corporation. They got a 401k or a 403b. First of all, y'all, please don't be intimidated by these numbers and these letters. All these things are tax codes. They glorify savings accounts. Do not be intimidated by these letters. They do mean different things. They do got different tax ramifications, but please don't be intimidated. They all just glorified savings accounts. So I want you to participate. Whenever you start with a corporation or a company, participate in your 401k, participate in your 403b. That's free money.
Facts.
Free money. So if I get hired at McDonald's, they giving me 5% of my income. They're gonna match it with 5%. Okay, that's 5% that I ain't gonna have. That's just extra money, right? Then what they do is they take your 5% that you contribute, their 5% that they contribute, and you put it in mutual funds or stocks or something like that, and it grows over time. Most of the time, most people out here in the streets, if you do have a 401k and you got a job, you're most likely enrolled in something called a target date fund.
Facts.
Target date fund. So my target date for retirement is 2055, based off of my age. And when you younger, your investments are more aggressive, because they say you could take an L when you young,
right?
But you can't take an L when you 60 and 65,
right? When it's time to retire, right?
Exactly. So they start. The older you get, the less aggressive they get with your investment. So by the time you 59, 60, all your stuff pretty much in bonds, which is one of the safest investments. But when you 30, 25, they got their stuff in stocks, high-end stuff. It's a lot of growth. Aggressive, man. So what I would say to people, participate no matter what. Whether you move or not, participate no matter what. Then have your own individual retirement account. It's called an IRA. It's two types of, it's a couple types of IRAs, but the main two types
the Roth
is Roth,
yes sir,
and traditional. Roth ain't nothing but, it was named after a senator, the person who came up with it. I forgot his name. It's a senator, ex-senator in Congress. And then you got traditional. Roth is post-tax dollars. So that means you done received your check. They done already took the taxes out, and then you put money into it.
Tax.
Then you got the traditional where they ain't took taxes out yet, and it's pre-tax dollars. So when you retire, they're gonna tax you. They're gonna tax you when you retire, and you pull that money out. When you young, and you our age, you millennial, you Gen Z, you need to get a Roth IRA because it's expected for you to be in a higher tax bracket when you older. They're going to tax you hard when you're older. So you might as well get the taxes done
taken out now. Yeah.
When you're in a lower tax bracket, making less money. So participate in the Roth IRA. That's a retirement that you can take with yourself no matter what. It's not attached to any job. So that's why your dad said that, because you don't want to just depend on. Because right now with us, it's hot dollar. Yeah. Whoever paying the most, that's the job we going to.
Absolutely.
So you might go from job to job, and you need to have your own stuff.
Yeah, because I think it's different. Because I think, maybe our parents' age, they was just sticking to one job, and they was just like, fuck it, I'm going to just retire from here. Yeah. And now people our age, they like, well, shit, I'm going to wherever the money sends me. You feel me?
Yeah, I know niggas doing that shit right now.
For real.
I got a question on the live real quick. I just wanted to answer real quick, y'all.
Absolutely.
This person said, do credit unions tend to pay higher interest drawing accounts? Number one, yes. Credit unions usually pay higher interest on your savings account, and you end up getting lower interest on your loans, any car loans or anything like that. And then the second thing is investing in Bitcoin. Okay.
Oh, I was gonna bring that up. I ain't want to jump into it right now, but we can jump into it right now. Matter of fact,
that shit is hot
Bitcoin,
right now.
This is what I'm gonna tell everybody on for real. Y'all need to do y'all research.
Yes,
research, because it's something new. I do believe that we're moving into an age of it's no longer going to be the dollar. It's going to be more electronic. You can see that across the board in anything. They ain't got cashiers no more. It's self-checkout.
Facts.
They ain't got. Chase, I think, invested into an ATM where you can get up to $40,000 out the ATM because they're about to start getting rid of tellers.
Scams about to be
popping.
Man, so it's all about electronic stuff. So I would say do your investigation about Bitcoin. It is popping right now. But y'all remember Snapchat, when Snapchat first came out and it went public? Yep. Everybody invested in it.
And now it just going to toilet.
Okay. So my advice, first of all, let me give this disclaimer, because I don't want any licenses I have to get messed up or whatever. This is not the opinion or views of any organization I may or may not work for. Okay.
Facts. There you go.
Big disclaimer. Legalese, man. Legalese. This is not the views or the opinions of any organization I may or may not work for. This is Joshua Roberson, my advice only. All right, let's get out the way. So, do your research. Google, whatever you got to do, and cross-reference stuff, man. Listen to YouTube videos. I'm not going to tell you to invest in Bitcoin. I'm not going to tell you to not. But what I will say is you got to do what's best for you. Everybody ain't got expendable income like that.
Facts.
Right. Everybody can't just spend $1,000 and invest in something. But if you got it, make it happen.
If you don't mind me asking.
Yeah.
And you can answer this question. You don't have to if you don't want to. Do you personally have any money invested? It don't have to be Bitcoin or any type of cryptocurrencies.
I personally do not have money invested in cryptocurrency.
Got you.
Got it.
But the reason why that is, let me tell y'all the reason, is because I have not yet educated myself enough.
Facts.
Okay. I'm gathering the information because really all the stocks and bonds all these rich folk is investing in right now, they've been around for 40 or 50 years.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's averaged 8 or 9 or 10% return over the years. But when it's something new and fresh, I kind of like to let people go before me and see how it work out for them. Yeah. Before I jump
because I've seen a lot of people kind of like jump into it and caught it at the early stages, and they retiring like our age right now. Exactly. They buying Lambos and cribs right now, and they invested in that shit back in like 2008.
That's true.
Yep. But I think because me personally, I'm gonna just speak for myself. I've went and done the necessary research on my end to whereas. The money that I contributed to Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies is money that I can afford to lose. It's not going to put me into in the poorhouse. It ain't going to leave me out here on my knuckles.
Exactly.
But when I first heard about it, I did my research and I was like, well, let me see what Warren Buffett thinks about this. And he was like, hell no. I ain't fucking with that shit.
Like,
You
hell
know,
no.
and he's, Warren Buffett, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
Billionaire.
Billionaire.
Multi-billionaire.
He was like, man, if I can't touch it, I don't want it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but do you think Warren Buffett is just living in that old mentality though?
Warren, he old school.
Yeah, and it could be possible that he could just be in that old mentality, but at the same time, how can I not listen to somebody that made money hand over fist?
That's true.
Listen to somebody that did it before and they making billions. Like I would never expect anybody to listen to me and I got a 400 credit score. You know what I'm saying? I gotta be the one that do it before y'all. But what I will say is that it is some people. Like I heard somebody say before, sometimes you got to learn how to chew the meat and spit out the bones.
Right. Okay.
You got to learn how to chew the meat and spit out the bones. So what do I mean when I say that? If you're getting advice from somebody who is a 70-year-old white man, you know what I'm saying? He's not a black man.
Facts.
Okay? Or if he's a middle-aged white man, you got to kind of listen to people who have been in your shoes before. You can chew the meat. Okay? They got some good information, but you got to spit out the bones because they don't have the perception. They ain't came out of the gutter. They had their mamas and their daddies that gave them the pensions and the funds and stuff like that, man. So you, again, like I said, chew the meat and spit out the bones. Pull stuff from everybody you can, but pull it to your advantage. And because it's all about your experience and where you come from.
Facts.
Yeah, that's a fact.
As a father myself, I personally, before my son was born, I went and met with a financial coach. Shout out to this girl named Jasmine and whatever. She hit me up on Twitter and gave me her information to her particular financial advisor at Northwestern Mutual. Shout out to Kev. Good guy. And as a father, I wanted to make sure that I was set up financially that when it's time for me to retire, even when it's time for my son to go off to school, then we'd be in a good situation.
Yes, sir.
Let's just take my dog Spiff, for an example. He doesn't have a wife, don't have any kids. However, he just got to just maintain himself.
Congratulations.
What kind of advice would you give to Spiff that's just trying to just maintain, but at the same time try to set up for the future?
Yeah, man. So if I had somebody like Spiff sitting in front of me, which me and Spiff is in the same boat, no kids, no wife, whatever. If you plan on having that, prepare for it.
Yeah,
definitely.
Prepare for it. Even before, because grind right now before you got to be considering a wife's feelings, before you got to be considering your child. Grind right now. So if I was Spiff, in which I am, you could set up a college fund for your child, for your unborn child right now. You know what I'm saying? Put money aside or make investments or buy real estate. This is the time where you can make mistakes and it only affects you. You know what I'm saying? But when you got a kid involved, you gotta kind of tread lightly.
Yeah, I can't do nothing too crazy.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So you do want to make calculated decisions. You want to educate yourself. But at the same time, man, set yourself up for what you want. So if you're going to have a wife, you want to have 2, 3, 4 kids, depending on who you are, then set yourself up for that stuff, man. And then also your retirement now. The best thing all of us have on our side is time.
Yeah.
Our age. I know people personally who are 40 and 50 years old that don't have no retirement. They just been living paycheck to paycheck for 30 years.
That's fucked up.
And they've been working.
Yeah.
And then now they like, damn, all I got to do, I gotta depend on Social Security that may not even be here.
Ooh.
So they're struggling, man. They're struggling. And they might be working till they 70.
Yeah, they're going to be Walmart greeters.
They got to hope for their kids to do something.
Take care of them.
I see a lot of retired people that's getting part-time jobs and shit like that. My thing is, so speaking on retirement and where you want to be, 60 to 65, is that the range when people retire?
Usually.
So I was talking to this old head in my job. He was retired, but he was working there. But he said him working there was throwing off his retirement fund because he was making too much money. So is retirement just another scheme, just like credit in general, or?
Right.
that's like a whole nother section though.
You're absolutely right. So I know personally, like, it's people out here that don't want to make too much money because they on Medicaid, Medicare, and if you make a certain amount of money, your health insurance, the state won't pay for this, and the federal won't pay for this because they feel like you can. So man, it's a real trick bag that they put you in, man. And so that's the other thing too. That's why I tell people, have your separate retirement, have a retirement from your job, and then own one that you've been working on this whole time by yourself.
Facts.
Because it's rules about how much you can receive, your distributions, you know. And then what happens is they got these people that have this little mathematic equation to try to figure out how long you're going to live after you retire.
Yeah, don't put a time on
Exactly.
my
Don't put a time on my
So
shit.
what happens is, let's say you retire at 60. They say, okay, Meech going to live another 35 years. All right, he got $1 million set up. We're going to divide this $1 million by 35, you know, and this is how much he's going to make in a year. And then we're going to divide that by 12, and this is how much we're going to give him every month. They got people out there that do that math with a guesstimation. And so that's probably what's messing my man's up, is because it's kind of throwing off his
balance.
mathematics.
Okay.
Yep.
I get it.
Speaking of, as far as myself, man, because one of the things when I went and met up with my financial advisor is that to set up in case of an emergency and also in case of my death.
Yeah.
Because that's one thing, whereas I see a lot on social media is GoFundMe's, chicken dinners, fish dinners. We selling this to pay for Ray and them funeral.
Right.
And one thing that I wanted to do was make sure that in the event if something just so happened to me, little Meechy is taken care of.
Absolutely.
And I feel like that's another thing that is not spoke about, you know, to us. Because we can see anybody, these rappers, they got all this money, but as soon as they die, it's a GoFundMe, it's chicken dinners and catfish dinners that they selling.
Yeah.
If you can speak to that, how important is a life insurance policy when it comes to finances as well, too?
I'm going to say it like this, man. Ultimately, I'm going to keep pushing this. Ultimately, you want to get to the point where you don't need a life insurance policy. You want to get to the point where you have enough money where you don't got to be paying nobody any money for them to give your people money in the end.
Yeah.
You want to have enough already stored up. But in the event that something happens, what you did right, bro, you want to, the best thing to do is get a life insurance policy now when you're young and healthy. Because it's going to cost more when you're 40, 50, you got high blood pressure or something other.
Yeah,
you know
and they charge you more for it.
Exactly. So it's best to get a policy at 22 because they're like, okay, he ain't dying no time soon. We're going to give him the lowest premium per month that he got to pay.
Facts.
You know, especially with having dependents like a child. You know, you always want to, I heard a pastor say, you want to protect your family in life and in death.
Yes.
You know, while you're alive, it's our responsibility to protect our family, and when you're dead, it's your responsibility to protect your family. So I agree with everything you said. If you're a young person, man, you need to get you some type of policy, 25, at least enough money to cover a funeral. You ain't got to necessarily have an inheritance, but at least get some small balance, $20,000, $25,000 to cover a funeral, and maybe pay some stuff off for your people.
Yeah.
But
at least help mama out, man.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. I tell my mom and my grandma, because I got both of them, you know, up on game and life insurance policies. I said, if y'all gonna die and I'm gonna be sitting here crying, I want to be sitting here crying and not broke.
Yeah.
I would rather be crying. I'll be sitting there wiping my tears with $100 bill, like
Liddy.
You know what I'm saying? Like, mama, I miss my mama. I miss my grandma. But
in the meantime, I could take care of everything else.
I'm gonna cry on this beach in Tahiti somewhere.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna do. Like, I'm not about to be crying. Who want to be stressed out and heartbroken when something tragic happened? You know, when you lose a loved one. I would rather just deal with the heartbreak, deal with the grief. I don't want to deal with the stress of being broke.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something, man, because that's something I had to like kind of like take in myself. Like when I met with my financial guy, he was like, this is something that you might want to think about doing this, setting this up in the future. In case of something happen. I'm like, I'm gonna be here. Nah, not necessarily. We don't have a time clock that we can see on our forehead for when that time come. So it's like I might as well start investing into this now. And what's been explained to me is that I have a cash value on mine.
Yeah.
So if I need to, I can go in, pull some money out, and then whatever I do with that money, that's mine because that's what I got.
Yep.
Right.
So, but in the meantime, something happened to me. Meechy litty.
Yeah, exactly. I heard somebody say, man, you know how much time you done used up. You 30 years old, you 29 years old, whatever. But you don't know how much time you got left.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah.
You know how much time you done used up.
Yeah.
But you don't know how much time you got left. So you might as well prepare for the worst. And even if you're having a conversation, y'all, please get over that mess, man. Don't think that it's something negative to have that conversation about death and helping your family and preparing for your family. A lot of people don't even want to talk about it, but it's a reality. And so you got to be able to, at least you have the ease in your mind that my son who I birthed is going to be taken care of if I am not here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so, I mean, that's my hat's off to you, dude, because there's a lot of people out here that's not making that stuff happen.
Facts.
That's true.
Let me ask you, as far as any type of like keys or anything like that, what is like a couple keys, for first timers or just anybody that just need to know when it comes to like finances?
Okay, so number one, before you start trying to dibble and dabble into credit, some of us just need to know how to spend money.
Yeah.
When I have my clients, man, I tell them I don't use the word budget because budget just seems so restrictive to me. I don't ever want anybody to feel like they're restricted in their own money. You done worked, and you made money. I call it a spending plan.
Yeah.
You have to have a plan for your money. Because a lot of times we just swipe. I got this joke with my grandma. I tell her, you always swiping. You don't know what's stuff.
What grandma over there buying?
Amazon.
Grandma going crazy on the Amazon?
Crazy on Amazon.
So I'm like, you swipe, and we laugh about that. And but you got to have an account for what you know. Where's your money going? One time I was younger, man. I had a credit card with a bank or a credit union, and they sent me my statement for the year. I seen all this fast food stuff and all this gas, and they just broke it down. Whatever you spending on, what you just spent, like the categories. And I was like, man, I gotta make a change. So that's just it. That's my thing is you need to know how to have a spending plan. What's going on with your money? What are your bills? What do you need? What don't you need? Also, when you're making a purchase, think of your purchases like this. If you make $15 an hour, okay, you need to start thinking about money in time, like time. So if I spend $15, that means I'm spending an hour of my time.
Yeah.
If this job paid me $15 an hour, I've just spent an hour of my time. So whether that's a meal, whether that's whatever, you need to figure out, was this worth, did I really need this? And the other thing is when you create a spending plan, you're sending your money so that it can come back to you. I'm really for entrepreneurship. I'm really for making money on your own, not punching somebody else's clock, having side hustles, doing stuff that you love, or doing stuff that you are good at in order to fund what you love.
Facts.
The hustle, even if I'm not, if I got a hustle, if I'm good at cutting hair, but I'm not really passionate about it, I'm going to use that money to fund what I'm passionate about. And so I really would encourage anybody, man, to do that. Then when you move on to the credit, I would say, like I said, secure credit cards, secure loans, man. Make your money work for you. I would get into real estate as young as possible. 22, 23, do your research. Buy you a duplex. Buy you a 4-family or 3-family unit. Man, live in that mug. And have other people pay your mortgage for you.
Facts.
Just build wealth. When I look at Shark Tank, Meech, there's 2 types of rich people on there. It's either somebody that did something in technology or they invented something, like a clothing brand or something.
Yeah.
Or they're in real
Shout
estate.
out to is the FUBU guy still on Shark Tank?
I think he is.
I think so.
Yeah.
Or they're in real estate, man. So them the two types of ways. And I heard somebody say, God ain't making no more land, so you might as well buy some.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you
Facts.
got land that you have, and shout out to my pops because he told me that we had some land down in Alabama, and one of our aunts was trying to sell it, and he was like, for what? No, that's ours. That's family. Like, they not making any more land. So let's hold on to what we got because it is ours.
Yeah.
You feel me? But wow, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. I learned a lot today. I learned a lot, man.
Definitely.
Speaking for Spiff, man. Speaking for Spiff. How would you budget like strippers into your
That shit is silly.
That's hilarious, man. Hey, man, listen, you work for your own money. You do what you want to do. But I would just say, is the stripper worth, that house you want? Stripper more important than your kid, man. I know it's temporary fun. You want to throw them dollars, whatever. We're not going to get that, man. It's very fun. Listen, hey, you got to do what you got to do, man. But if y'all want to link up with me, man, get in contact with me, go to the road to astatus.com, completely spelled out, or you can follow me on all social media at Robe, the number 2, astatus FC on Instagram or Facebook, man. Just hit me up.
All right, man. I appreciate you, Josh, man. Everything that you provided for us today, man, I appreciate it, man, because like I tell Spiff, man, sometimes we need to come over here and talk some grown folk business, man, and give some knowledge to, to everybody and all of our listeners and everything. So I appreciate you, man. Absolutely, because when you reached out to me, I was like, well, shit, nigga, I ain't give a fuck. I was like, hell yeah, come through.
You sure did, man. You sure did.
I appreciate it, man.
Absolutely, man. I'm just trying to share that knowledge with whoever. I don't care who the audience is,
yes,
where
sir.
they're from, everybody, especially my people. We need this knowledge. And I just want everybody to win. That's all. That's what it's all about.
Yes, sir. But before we shake about it here, Spiff, you got any last words that you like to say when you say how you say it when you say it, my boy?
Shit, man. I'm just trying to be 30 up 30. You feel me? And shit, that's it.
Josh, again, man, I appreciate you. If you can, shout out to the Instagram and all your social media profiles and everything again, please.
Yeah, man. Follow me, Instagram. Actually, you can follow me at Coach_JRobe. That's Coach_J_Robe. Or you can follow my Instagram and Facebook at Robe number 2 astatus FC on Facebook and Instagram. And then everything, YouTube page, man, you go to the road to astatus.com, completely spelled out.
Yes, sir. And as always, I appreciate all 13 of y'all fuck niggas always showing up, showing love, giving feedback when it's due. This the Drug Table Talk podcast with Meech and Spiff. Remember, we don't sell drugs, we sell knowledge and slaying game. Rest in peace to my brother Mars, man. Let's go be stars up in this bitch, man. We out.